San Juan Regional Medical Center is your community hospital, committed to making life better for the communities we are privileged to serve. In fact, better is our mission, improving lives through personalized health and care. What matters most to our patients matters most to us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services so you can get the quality care you need right here at home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, celebrating life better here since 1910. KSJE is supported by Aztec Motocross. Located on Highway 173, Aztec Motocross offers a safe and competitive racing environment for the growing off-road and outdoor industry. Upcoming racing weekends, September 24th and 25th, and October 22nd and 23rd. Also, the New Mexico State Championship Motocross Race Series, October 8th and 9th. Find out more online at aztecmotocross.com or 505-393-5222.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. This is Scott Michlin. We are on the road. It is one of our very first on-the-road productions for the morning program, and I am here at the wonderful Farmington Museum, which is going to be the topic of our program this morning, and I am joined by the very brave Bart Wilsey, who is here for our experiment here of our on-the-road program. Bart, good morning. Thank you for joining me. You didn't have to go too far this morning.
Thank you, Scott. No, it was an easy commute.
Right. Very good. I appreciate you agreeing to do this morning as we are here at the new Wild Kratts exhibit here at the Farmington Museum, which just opened, gosh, a little less than a week ago, almost a full week ago, but hasn't been open for all that long. But this has kind of been a little project in the making because you've kind of combined two exhibits into one kind of big exhibit, right?
Very big exhibit, yes.
Yeah, so what's going on? What do we see kind of around us this morning?
Well, we've combined two different exhibits that travel usually separately, but we've kind of put them together. It's Wild Kratts Creature Power and Wild Kratts Ocean Adventure.
Okay.
So we have put those two together.
Got you. And they are all appealing to a certain demographic that is not me. Yeah. But it's very popular.
Well, they are. You know, it's based off of the PBS series, the Kratts brothers, Wild Kratts, who go around and have all of these creature adventures all over the world, really. And the exhibits that we have installed here are some of those same adventures that kids can have too. Gotcha.
And so it's very interactive. There's a lot of things for kids to do and explore and check out while they're here. As I look around the exhibit hall where we're set up this morning, and for those of you who aren't watching on social media like Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you're missing out on all the things that are just around us here in the exhibit hall at the Farmington Museum. But there's a lot of things to see and do, both kind of natural world and undersea world, I guess, right?
Correct. And you mentioned, kind of a target audience. And
yes.
We're really targeting, 3 to 10 or 11, maybe 12, something like that. So that's really...
Missed it by that much.
I know, right?
I did, yes, but that's all right. But people who know. Right? I mean, if you have a child in that age, they know Wild Kratts, right?
Oh, yes. My kids especially have watched Wild Kratts for years, crazy about them, and yes, they had to come to the exhibit.
Right. How exciting is it to be able to bring this to Farmington? I imagine it maybe took you a little while to get on the schedule and to get it and figure out how to make it fit in your space?
Yep. It's been in the works for, we actually tried to get it once before, and that kind of stalled out.
Okay.
During COVID a little bit, and so we took another run at it. So I think we've been working at this maybe a year and a half.
Gotcha.
something like that. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's been a while in the making.
Right, but you've got it here, and it's going to be here for a little bit, right? So folks can kind of plan a visit. If they've got relatives coming in over the holidays, they can make plans to come and check it out, and it's going to be here for a while.
Absolutely. It's going to run through January 7th of 2023. So it'll be here during Thanksgiving, Christmas, even through the New Year's, and should be plenty of time for people to check it out.
Very good. Now, as I mentioned, you had an opening a week ago Friday, I think. Saturday. A week ago Saturday.
Yep.
And so what were the kind of the reactions? What kind of reactions have you seen from your patrons who've been coming in to see it? Who
Well,
are either
it was-
the demographic age or like me?
It was slightly overwhelming. We had about 200 people in the first 2 hours. So
Wow. Wow.
It was an active place.
Yes.
And the exhibit is built and traveled through the Minnesota Children's Museum, and one of their motto is learning through play. And so these exhibits really embody that saying, I guess I
Sure.
would say, because everything in here is to play with.
Right. But you learn something too.
You learn something, yes.
In a sneaky way,
Yes.
the way museums do. And that's really cool. I think and parents probably can appreciate that, right? When their kids are exploring something or maybe just trying something out and all of a sudden they've learned a thing or two.
Yep. Sneak some science in on
Right.
them.
And so that leads me to ask you about schools. I imagine that they are contacting you about maybe getting some field trips, and you've maybe got some programs for school groups and other groups to come in.
They are. We're pretty actively booking school groups right now, and I will mention we give a very good discount to school groups. It would be $3 a head for the kids, and then we give so many chaperones in free depending on how many kids there are. So it's really a great deal for the schools to kind of take advantage of having this here.
Right, because if I'm not part of a school group, you are charging admission, which is very rare that there's an admission charge at the Farmington Museum to credit the city of Farmington, which I always like to do. Admission to the other museum exhibits is free. There's
Free.
a suggested donation, and you can always join the museum foundation, which we'll talk about too this morning. But since this is a special exhibit, it costs a bit more, and so you're charging admission for this exhibit.
We're charging $10 a head, which seems like a lot, but when you compare it to the movies or going out to eat or anything else, it's pretty cheap for, really, people have been staying an hour and a half in the exhibit. So
Right.
It's really a pretty good deal for that amount.
Sure. Well, and something tells me if I went to see this maybe at the exhibit, the museum in Minnesota, it might charge more than $10.
Yeah, probably at least twice that,
Okay. So
if
it's
not a little bit more.
a pretty good deal.
It is a good deal.
Yeah.
And it's right here in Farmington. You don't have to travel to see it.
Right, which is wonderful. So I want to show another angle here of another part of the exhibit because it does fill this entire gallery.
It does.
And you, I bet, know off the top of your head the square footage of this gallery.
7,500 square feet.
Knew you would know that. I knew you would know that. See? And you have filled it with these two Wild Kratts exhibits. This one, the picture that we're looking at, we seem to be underwater, or at least in an underwater part of the exhibit, right?
We are. We're in part of the Ocean's Adventure part. And you can see there on the left kind of a jaw opening. That is actually the jaw of a shark. And there's a little activity in that mouth that you can do. You can have your friends set up teeth, and then there's a little crank, and it rotates and actually spills the teeth out the front.
Uh-huh.
Now that tells you that shark can grow their teeth back.
Right.
Once they break them off, they have rows and rows of teeth that actually replace each other as they lose them.
I got it, which is why they can bite so much, apparently, right? Because they just grow their teeth back.
Bite
so,
and cut,
and
yep.
I would assume that shark's mouth model is fairly life-sized,
It is.
right?
It is.
So kids
Yep.
can see just how
See
big
how
these
big
things
it
are
is, yeah.
compared to their arm, hand, finger,
Exactly.
head, whatever they'd like to stick in there, I suppose.
Exactly.
So there you go. And then behind that is a bit of a video being projected onto the wall that's kind of an underwater scene too.
Yeah, and that's kind of a cool thing because we have some activity sheets with sharks on them or fish that the kids can color, and then there's actually a place where they can scan it, and once they scan it, they will see their fish or whatever swimming through that background.
Really?
Yeah.
From their drawing?
From their drawing.
How about that? Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty impressive.
So that's pretty interesting. And so I guess, again, a couple of things you mentioned there then. So if mom and dad are coming with the kids, they can pick up one of these activity sheets, and that will give the kids more things to do while they're in the exhibit rather than just walking around looking, reading, and doing some of the interactive things. It's a bit more interactive.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Gotcha.
They can, it's kind of a scavenger hunt, so to speak.
Okay, got you. And then anything else in this view that we want to describe here? I know there's stuff.
Well,
another shark here. I see.
There's a few barnacles on there.
Okay.
There's kind of a coral reef there on the right that you can just see a little piece of.
Right.
That's actually a really kind of a large arch, so you're
That's
just
right.
seeing a little piece of it there, but.
You can walk through.
Yeah, you can actually walk through it. Yes.
The reef and everything. So that's
Yep.
kind of cool. So, and again, this is just a small corner basically of the exhibit where we are. Right. And if I show the two of us together, hey, look at us. There we are. And you're kind of sitting in front of what looks like a kind of a tree jungle exhibit kind of behind you there. And so that's a bit more of the other part of the exhibit, right?
Right, the creature power.
Yes.
Yes.
And so what's going on with that? Can you describe that to us?
Yeah, this is part of kind of the Australian part of the exhibit.
Gotcha.
There's some exhibits here on, how high a red kangaroo can jump, and there's a mirror there that shows how high they jump, and then you can jump and gauge how high you jump
compared to the kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Got it. Okay, right.
And then there's a little platypus activity over there that you can take your platypus through a little maze thing and find food, because platypus, when they're looking for food, they close their eyes, their ears, and their nose.
Do they now?
They do.
Okay.
And they just find food through their bill. The electromagnetic signals that are put off by their prey.
Okay. They can sense that in their bill.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that.
Now you do.
Now I do, thanks to
It's called
this.
sneaky science, Scott.
Yes, it is, thanks to this exhibit. But that's really fascinating because they're the platypus is kind of a unique looking animal anyway.
Well, yeah, and they lay eggs. And,
right.
So, yeah.
And I don't know if their appearance has really changed too much over the
I don't think so.
years and years and years. So that's kind of a cool thing. But that's just an example. And right across from us too, I'm noticing there's a cheetah power.
There is a cheetah
exhibit,
power.
A little bit about how fast a cheetah can move,
and
right?
Yes, and based on some of the choices you make as far as like how long the claws are, how long the legs are, you can actually gauge, and it will tell you how fast you're running.
I see.
Based on the choices that you make.
You can design your own cheetah.
Yes.
Is that what we're doing?
Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha. And depending on what you do,
What you
certain
choose,
attributes,
it
either
either
makes
go slower or faster.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Very interesting. My guest this morning, Bart Wilsey, is with me. We are KSJE on the road this morning. We have taken our show on the road to the Farmington Museum. We are sitting smack dab in the middle of the Wild Kratts exhibit here at the Farmington Museum. This exhibit just opened about a week ago. It'll be on display until early January 2023. So you have plenty of opportunities to come by and see it. There's plenty of things that you can do with the kids, with the grandkids, with the neighbors' kids, with anyone you want to bring by, I suppose, right? And check it out. You've got a lot of things planned, too, I know, during the run of this exhibit, right? A lot of special events also planned, Bart?
Well, we do. We have some, we're kind of calling it a passport program, and we've got several different things scheduled. You don't have to buy a ticket to attend these.
Okay.
So it's not going to cost you anything, but we're bringing in Indiana Bones.
Okay.
Saturday,
Sounds
October 1st.
very similar to another character, but yes. Okay.
Yes. But this guy, he's an Emmy Award-winning writer, storyteller, performer, artist. He combines history, archaeology, paleontology, action, adventure, and puppetry.
Aha.
Plus, he's just plain funny.
Okay.
So,
And that's soon. That's Saturday.
yeah, that's Saturday,
October
10:30
1st.
a.m. here at the museum. And again, it's a free program, so come on by and check it out.
There you go. Okay. Indiana Bones, you said.
Indiana Bones.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
And then we're also going to be bringing in Andrew with New Mexico State University Agriculture, and he's going to be talking about bees
Okay.
and what they do and how they work.
Gotcha.
They'll be making some bees, making a flower, seeing if you can get some pollen to your bee, and make some honey.
Interesting. When's he coming?
He is coming Saturday, October 8th,
Okay.
11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
So that's a week from Saturday.
A week from Saturday.
Got you. All right. Very good.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Right, I am too. What else you got?
So the next one is Hawks Aloft. They'll be bringing their raptors to the museum, and we'll be talking about all of the things that they do with their real live birds.
Okay.
So that is always an interesting program. We've had them here at the museum before. That program is suitable for all ages. Space will be limited, but we're offering 2 of those programs. So if you missed the first one, you can catch another one down the road a little ways. But this one's going to be Saturday, October 15th, which is the next weekend.
3 weeks from this week, yeah.
And there'll be a couple of programs with that one 12 to 12:30 and one from 1 to 1:30.
Okay. Very, very cool. So you've got things planned basically every week between now and the end of, middle of October.
I think we might skip one weekend, and then November 5th, we're having a Grandparents' Day.
Okay.
Where if kids bring their grandparents in, the grandparents get in free.
Hey,
So,
how about that?
yeah, so
then-
that's kind of fun.
Put Grandma's head in the shark if you want, I suppose. Okay.
So they'll have some programs that they'll do. I think they're going to make some bat houses at that program.
Okay. And bat houses, you've heard that term before. They are important because, of course, bats eat a lot of insects
Right.
and really help, and it gives
The
them just
mosquito population. Yep.
and so they can be very beneficial, I guess, right? If you have bats not in your belfry but around your belfry,
Hanging around your hood, so to speak.
they
Yes.
can be very helpful in the neighborhood. So, and that's a craft that folks can make fairly easily.
Can make and take home and
Yeah.
put up, and yeah.
There you go.
Attract
Okay.
some bats.
All right. Very good. You've got a whole list. I know you've got a whole other
Well,
list of stuff too, and I know you're adding to it, right?
The other 2 that are after that are repeats
Okay.
of some of the programs we did. We're going to have Andrew again from the NMSU, and then another session of Hawks Aloft. So those will be down in mid-November into December. So
Okay. Very good. And so folks can, again, learn about them by going to the museum Facebook page,
Right.
their website. The city has a
Website,
calendar,
yep.
I know, and all those ways to kind of remember what's coming up and what's going on.
Right. So one of the other things that we're doing that's a little bit different, we're also hosting birthday parties at the museum for
Right.
kids that are having birthdays.
Okay. Now, that's not new. You've been doing that for a while.
Well, we
is it?
have, but this one kind of features the Wild Kratts exhibit while it's here.
Sure.
So they can have rent one of our rooms and have a birthday party and come in and enjoy the exhibit, and it's all kind of a package deal.
I got it. I like that. And so that's available just by calling, make a
Calling
reservation?
the museum, yep.
Okay. And you'll see what the availability is, I
Yep.
suppose,
Yep.
and make a smoking deal.
Yeah, we were booked up. We had 2 of them last weekend, so
I'm not surprised.
we were hopping.
Right. Very, very good. And so that's some of the other things that you can do. And of course, this is one of the exhibits, but there was a lot of other things going on here at the museum all the time. This is just one gallery, your biggest gallery, but you've got your other permanent exhibits that are here as well.
Right. Our Built by Gas exhibit is still on display, and then we still have our hats off.
Right. And so I would think that when folks come in to see the wild Kratts, they could also spend some time on the other ones too, the other exhibits, and see
Absolutely.
what's going on.
I won't say it's maybe for the older crowd, but
Right.
it might be a little bit more for the older crowd.
I gotcha. Very true. Different demographics.
Right,
I get
right.
that. I
There
get
you go.
that. But that's what you can do. I mentioned the Farmington Museum Foundation, of course, and they are the nonprofit fundraising and support arm of the museum. I'm a member, and I've been on the board and off the board and on the board and off the
Yep.
board. And it's a great organization that helps to do some of these other things here at the museum.
Well, it is, and they help us bring in exhibits like this, and have helped us in the past on some of the bigger exhibits that we've brought in. So it's really important for people to understand that and join the foundation if they can. It's a pretty reasonable price for what you get. If you join our membership, you actually join a whole nationwide membership. You can get into over 200 museums throughout the country for free, so it's really a great deal.
Right, definitely. And I know there are some other kind of those museums that benefit from that Museum Foundation membership in New Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. At least
Right.
there used to be.
Right.
Still the
There-
case, right?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure.
There are several.
We've been locked down, so I haven't been traveling too much. So
Yeah, right.
I'm back when I used to go to Santa Fe. I think it worked pretty well, but I wanted to make sure. But that's a great benefit.
Well, and we are going to have a special members night on October 21st. So if you join our membership, you will actually be able to come in and check out the exhibit for free. We'll have food,
little
refreshments,
private viewing, right?
Little private gigs. So
Okay.
yeah,
Very, very nice. So folks can take advantage of that, and that's a benefit of being a member.
exactly.
So I think that with the admission, that's probably a pretty good deal
It's
from your membership.
yes,
So-
absolutely.
So there you go. Anything else that's coming that we can talk about, Bart, for the future? I know.
I'm working on something huge, Scott, but
Uh-oh.
I can't let it out of the bag.
Oh, come
yet.
on! Who's going to know? Who would I tell?
Who's watching?
Who would I tell, Bart Wilsey? Who do I know? Okay, all right, but you're working on it.
I'm working on it. Hopefully, we'll be able to make an announcement fairly soon.
Okay. But some other kind of a big, impactful traveling exhibit like
Yes.
this one, perhaps,
Yes. Or even bigger.
Or even bigger, he says.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and as we know, we have seen bigger, I think, in this very space, right? Because this has been the space for the Egyptian exhibit, if I remember.
Egyptian exhibit,
right?
the Lost Egypt exhibit,
Yes.
the shipwreck exhibit.
That one too.
Had 300 pounds of gold and silver. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep during that
Right.
exhibit.
Right.
Yes, we've done some really great exhibits here. So
A lot of fun. And so this has been great. And that's really what you kind of hoped the space would be used for, right? When it was planned and built?
well, yeah. I mean, you need an aspect of both kind of longer term exhibits and changing exhibits to really bring people back to the museum. And this is really what this hall has been utilized for. And just based on some of the exhibits that we brought in and the number of people that still talk about those exhibits, that's what you really want to create in your community is some buzz. So hopefully we'll get some buzz off of this exhibit and launch us into the next one.
I would think so. Well, and the way you tell me, I mean, the way kids react to the term Wild Kratts and the idea that Wild Kratts is in town and there's stuff affiliated with the TV show and all that, it's already working, right?
They are extremely excited. In fact, when some of the kids come in and kind of approach the desk that we have set up at the front of the exhibit, they're just shaking with excitement. They cannot wait to get in here. So
Right.
it is fantastic to watch.
Exactly. Well, and looking around, right? I mean, a lot of these elements are very similar to what you would see in the TV show. I mean,
Right.
it's the same design,
Right.
the same characters and all
Kinda,
that, right?
Cartoonish type.
Right. And
Yeah.
so it looks very, I guess, real to life, or if
Very
you will.
colorful, very playful, very fit to the Wild Kratts theme.
Exactly. And again, it'll be here until early January.
January 7th. Yep.
So plenty of time to make plans. But if I guess if you're making plans or the family's deciding where to go for the holidays.
Or if you've got family coming in to visit you, this is a great choice.
Right. I was going to say that maybe, get them to come here this year
for
the holidays, and then they can come see the exhibit.
Yep.
And of course, it'll be a great way. And again, the kids, there's plenty for the kids to do and learn and explore while they're here. And you've got the kind of that worksheet that sends them off on this kind of scavenger hunt through the exhibit.
Yep, a couple of worksheets for each exhibit. So
okay.
You can do 2 of them if you want to.
Gotcha. Yeah. Very, very, very good. And you're working with the schools, as we mentioned.
Working with the schools.
And I bet you'll have a bunch of field trips coming in.
We're already booking them up. We've got one already scheduled for next week. So, we're looking forward to having a lot of school kids through here.
Very good. Well, Bart, we are almost out of time for our segment this morning, but I really appreciate you agreeing to do this little experiment of seeing if our equipment would work, if we plugged it in out here, and it seems like it's working.
Always happy to help, and I can't wait to do the next exhibit.
Well, me either, because now you've told me it's going to be a big deal, and so I can't wait to find out what it is.
Yep.
Maybe you'll break the news on our show.
Maybe.
All right.
Okay.
That's on tape, We've got you on record, but appreciate it very much. It's Bart Wilsey from the Farmington Museum, my guest this morning here on KSJE, on our KSJE On the Road. I'm Scott Michlin, back with more in just a moment. KSJE and San Juan College present the Student Success Coaching Tip of the Week.
Hello, my name is Emin Chi from the Student Achievement Center. We are bringing you week 6 of Coaching Tips of the Week. Learning new information. Students learn new ideas by relating them to what they already know and then transferring them into their long-term memory. Meaningful practice with content can both cement student learning and making it easier for students to remember content in the future, enabling them to tackle increasingly complex challenges. The more knowledge that students have about a specific problem, the easier it will be for them to recognize the important aspects of the problem and how to solve it.
The Student Success Coaching Tip of the Week, presented by KSJE and the Student Achievement Center at San Juan College. Connect with the Pulse during the San Juan Symphony's 37th season, coming up Saturday, October 8th at 7:30 p.m. in Farmington and Sunday, October 9th at 3 p.m. in Durango. The Symphony presents French masterpieces by Maurice Ravel, Claude Debussy, Eric Satie, and many others in a program called Bolero French Impressions. Music director Thomas Heuser will introduce the program in a free pre-concert talk 1 hour before the concert. Find out more at sanjuansymphony.org. KSJE is supported by the Aztec Highland Games and Celtic Music Festival, happening October 1st and 2nd at Riverside Park in Aztec. Heavy athletic competition, the Highland Dance Competition, clans, food and music featuring Angus Moore, and other regional entertainment. Find out more about the Aztec Highland Games and Celtic Music Festival, October 1st and 2nd at aztechighlandgames.com.
Math doesn't have to be scary. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace